How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RuffledRowlit, and welcome back to a brand new Pokemon Leaks and Rumors video. Let's get started with the first thing today, which is going to be this post right here. Now, we have some actually really big stuff to talk about in this video, so sit back and relax and enjoy. The first one here is from Pokemon Millennium, which is kind of just a general observation and sort of analysis about Pokemon Winds and Waves' most recent trailer, where we're talking about a lot about the Majin gimmick. We've already spoken about this before. We've had a whole thing about this where Centro posted, and a bunch of other people posted about the fact that we're going to have a lot of new locations to explore, including these specific places that are research facilities for the Majin mechanic, right? You guys know the Majin gimmick might be weather-based, according to them. If that's the angle, a dedicated research program makes total sense. And of course, he's referring to here the fact that literally in the map leaks, we know from those leaks that there are supposed to be, like, I think 5 research facilities for Majins. Now, if you don't know what I'm saying, what I'm talking about here, like, oh, Majin. Majin is the code name, just the code name, it's not the final name, but is the code name for the upcoming mechanic or new gimmick for Pokemon Winds and Waves. Now, what do I mean by gimmick? Well, think about like Mega Evolution, Z moves, terrestrialization, like, you know, terrestrializing, all that kind of stuff. Those are Pokemon gimmicks that started since X and Y, so Generation 6. Since Gen 6, we've had a gimmick being added in every game. So think about Dynamax, Z moves, Megas, oh god, terrestrialization. So those are like, what, like four or so, I think? Yeah, it's like 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 4. So 4 gimmicks have been added in Pokemon, and this is supposed to be the 5th and the newest gimmick, and it's supposed to be Majin, and we've had for the longest time now known about it. We've had a bunch of, you know, information about it from the leaks, and one of the big things that the takeaway is that it could be related specifically to weather, which makes sense because winds and waves are literally weather phenomena. So yeah, now here's what they said. If that's the angle, a dedicated research program makes total sense. Majin laboratories like the Hoenn Weather Research Institute, controlled environments, repeatable tests, and monitoring the phenomenon as conditions shift. According to some sources, the types being studied in these Majin laboratories could be ice, ground, rock, and psychic. So we also, I think we know another one, but I don't remember which one. Oh, was it fire or was it something else? I don't remember. But nonetheless, we do know that they're doing something with the Majin gimmick being related to weather, most definitely, because again, a lot of the research, a lot of the leaked documentation does kind of imply that. And also, again, the entire game is winds and waves, so it just makes sense. I'll be honest with you, it just makes sense. It would be weird if it didn't relate to weather, but maybe I'm crazy. But also, they have another post here saying that they have a bit of an analysis and speculation. According to the unofficial information that has been leaked over the past few months, the group of antagonists, so the bad guys in this game, are supposedly led by the director of the hotel chain. So, of course, the hotel will probably be this giant squid-shaped, which we'll talk about that too, squid-shaped hotel, right? Is led by him. So basically, the bad guy in this game is going to be a hotel owner, right? A guy who runs a hotel. And this guy suffered some sort of tragedy in his family. And this tragedy caused him to start hating Pokemon and wanting to just develop and make more money, and essentially just made him into a greedy bastard, a la most greedy rich people. But either way, now we already speculated there is some kind of a research focused on let's see. Okay, actually, director of the hotel. Right. So his goal is to control nature. Right there it is to control nature in order to ensure the survival of the human species. Now, we've already speculated that there is a kind of research or focused on wind in one version and waves in the other behind the use of the Majin mechanic in battles. However, on the regional map, there are no other hotels shown across the island. We know, though, that there are many as 6 Majin labs. There it is, fire. That's the one I was missing, right? So fire, ice, ground, rock, psychic, and ghost. What if these labs were hidden inside hotels? Ooh, okay. Now imagine a scenario where the prestigious resort owner is the mastermind behind the team, hiding his shady plans within his hotels. It wouldn't be the first time the villain team operations are concealed behind commercial fronts. I mean, literally the game corner, right? So like, yeah, Rocket hideouts in Kanto's game corner, Lysander's lab beneath the cafe, or Macrocosmos under Chairman Rose in Galar. Yeah, it's true. It's very true, okay? It's actually extremely true. And also then he has the next post here, which is, from the information we have, we can also say with a fair degree of certainty that our adventure will begin in the hotel or resort structure. A confirmation comes from both unofficial information and the trailer, which shows the scenes with an adventure starting vibe, which, yes, you start off right outside the hotel. Like, you can see the entrance of the hotel in the back here with the logo and everything. And you can see literally you're at the hotel grounds here. So makes sense, right? Now, in the post below, based on some game info we have, I said that the director of the hotel chain train is the antagonist and the head of the antagonist team, with his main headquarters right at the hotel where the adventure begins. Plus, we've toyed with theories suggesting that other hotels scattered around the region actually hide the Majin labs, which, that's an interesting theory. I do wonder how they would explain that. Like, I mean, but that would be so many, though. How would you hide all of them, and how would we interact with them, right? If they're hidden. I feel like them being, like, more open, like, in the public makes more sense. But the idea of them being hidden actually wouldn't be that bad of an idea. I actually wouldn't mind if they were more hidden and we had to discover them ourselves. Kind of how you discover if you play Pokopia yet. How you can kind of, like, if you're playing Pokopia, you can go under, like, there's like a lighthouse, and if you break the ground underneath, you can find a very secret space. Now, and also, if you go to the area that's supposed to be like the sky area that represents, I think, Saffron City or Celadon, I'm not sure. You can find, I think is it Celadon or Saffron? I don't know. But if you go underneath like one location, you can actually find a reference to Team Rocket, which is really cool. But yeah. Either way, so at the core of everything would be research on natural phenomena and forces, and will be part of the research, which explains the protagonists' different outfits. Research based on wind energy on one side and wave energy on the other. The antagonist team in these games might believe they can control these forces, controlling winds and waves. Right now, they control these forces, keeping the wind and waves legendaries imprisoned and/or controlled. However, these forces could slip out from under their control, triggering the game's real problem and the true solution to resolve. Additionally, starting right from the hotel structure, we can hypothesize and we'll receive the key to use the mechanic within the first few hours of gameplay, perhaps after proving our skills as a great Pokemon trainer, which, again, wouldn't be that crazy. It's not like a far-fetched idea. I like this idea somebody had here. Imagine if the Tower Hotel place with the Colosseum Extigalo Darkness Fnac City theme or Real Gym Towers theme. I mean, maybe. You can always pray and hope. But I like the idea of this, but again, this is just one of the few theories. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is actually, again, back to the whole squid shape thing, which I think is a fun thing to mention just really quickly. But here you can see, many have pointed this out, but the big resort in Winds and Waves does kind of resemble an octopus. Could it be shaped like that to pay homage to a certain Pokemon of this region? Maybe a new legendary octopus or Kraken Pokemon. We need a Kraken Pokemon. How do we not have a Kraken Pokemon? We have, like, squids and shit, but we don't have a straight-up... Tentacruel... Nah, I don't count Tentacruel, okay? I mean, they did do that one episode in the anime, which I think got banned, but other than that, like, come on, man. We need a straight Tentacruel episode, okay? But either way, could it be shaped like that to pay homage to certain Pokemon of this region? Who knows? I mean, literally, who knows? He says here, if Octillery actually gets an evolution in Winds and Waves, is it finally time? I mean, they could, because again, we do have the beta versions of him, which, I mean, look at the boy. Got a soldier helmet. A further other inspiration it could have is a venomous blue ringed octopus, which is found in Southeast Asia. Maybe it shoots poison. And of course, the ultimate octopus squid is a Kraken, of course. I would love a Kraken Pokemon. I'd love a giant Kraken Calamity Pokemon that just lives in the ocean. I think that would be so cool if you could just swim around in the ocean in this game and you just accidentally run across a literal demon in the water. Like, I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. Also, a really cool thing. Now, this is going to be a big take back. If you guys have been watching this channel or really following Pokemon leaks for more than the last... like 5 years, if you've been around for the last decade, you will know this. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a really old leak or a really old rumor called the Peuke leak. Okay, now this is by a guy called Peuke who posted this shit like years ago. And I say years, I mean, I really mean like years ago. This was around the time when we were still talking about, like, prior to Sword and Shield being even revealed, I think. This was when PUBG was still relevant in the online sphere. When Fortnite wasn't the only game people were playing yet. We're talking like 2018 era, like, Pokemon leaks, like well over 8 years ago at this point. So why am I bringing up this? Because interestingly, Soul Silver brought up this post as well, because you see in this picture, this was a picture posted by Peuke, and it featured a few different things. One, it featured literally a region that was supposed to be mentioned as being an island region with multiple islands, right? But not just that. It mentioned us going on a vacation, which literally is what we're doing in Pokemon Winds and Waves. It mentions two legendaries being snakes. A bad snake and a good snake, okay? A bad snake needs rare Pokemon eggs as a tribute, inner strength personification, and then a good snake collects light to ensure nutrients for abyss creatures, cooperative spirit personification. Now, here's the thing. That's not the only thing. He also mentioned new evolutions. Yes, he brought up 2 new evolutions, and I think one of them was supposed to be a flying type. The other one, I don't remember. I think it was rock type or some shit. But interestingly, a lot of this stuff, and also, by the way, everything here is just very intriguing. There's also a mention about like having like some sort of like a character that's going to be in the game that's kind of going to be like George in the Jungle-esque, like a Tarzan type character. Also, the new gimmick being some sort of turbo boost for weaker Pokemon. Again, a lot of the stuff from here is very weird, right? So here, 2 evolutions, Flying Rock. Okay, so it was Rock, not Ground. 2 Serpent Godlike legendaries, 1 in the sky and 1 in the sea, Wind, Wave. And also, Western arriving in Eastern region, which, again, in this game, we're literally coming to this place for a vacation in the game, right? That's like your mother in the game is winning a trip to go on a vacation. That's literally an actual thing in the plot, right? Like actually a thing in the plot. But the jungle region and contains a concrete jungle city, Jakarta, biggest city in the world, Peuke redemption arc. Dude, it is crazy. It is crazy how much of this, and this is such an old leak, by the way. This was from 8 years ago. This is like 8, 9 years. This is so old. Most of you weren't even like into Pokemon at that point. Most of you were probably like freaking in like middle school or some shit. Like when this was posted, okay? You had no clue about any of these leaks and things. And now we're sitting here, and this came back and is actually relevant. I really wonder where Peuke is, man. I want to know where Peuke is because the man was technically right, but only like 8 years too early. Because at the end of the day, the idea of them actually pre-productioning or having these concepts is not that crazy because they started pre-production production of this game in 2021. The idea of it could have existed as far back as like 2013 if you want to, right? Because at the end of the day, when they're working over there, it's not like they're all working on one project all the time and that's all they do. No, they'll be working on several things all at once. Like one person might be working on, the Generation 11 and another person might be working on a spin-off game. No, maybe not spin-off game, but like a non-Pokemon game. Then another team might be doing pre-production for the next 2 generations after generation like 11. My point is, it's crazy to think that a lot of what he said here actually, like, it kind of feels real. It kind of feels real. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird, but that's that. Next thing I want to talk about is an interesting thing, which I haven't seen a lot of people bring up anymore, but it's this idea of us getting this thing called a seed Pokemon. Now, let me explain. Basically, with the big leaks that happened last year, the big leaks were somebody was hacking into the Game Freak servers. I say hacking, basically they just, how would you call it? I forget the wording for it, but they more or less managed to socially engineer their way and access their servers and steal terabytes of data, right? Like a lot of data and information and files and game files and a bunch of stuff. But here's the thing though, right? Here is the thing. There was a mention for Winds and Waves, a specific mention of something called a seed Pokemon. Now, this is supposed to be a Pokemon that you would get in the game that's supposed to be important to you and actually look different based on how you treat it and how you play the game, right? A Pokemon that literally changes based on your interaction with the game. So, Light here said, I wonder how the seed Pokemon mentioned in the Winds and Waves Terra Leaks will turn out. Apparently, it's given to us by Mr. Windy Chew and Miss Wavy Chew, and its form changes based on how we choose to grow it. Sounds too good to be true, and you can see Island and Pokemon procedural adaptation. Create one special Pokemon for the next generation. We made one special ride Pokemon for Titan. For Gaia, we want to create one Pokemon with colorful changes to its form depending on the way it grows. A young Pokemon that changes its form infinitely according to the player choices. An island that changes its form infinitely to respond to it. And each player creates an island, registers it on the server, and encounters infinite islands. So it's the similar idea to what you have with Pokopia, right? Where you can sort of mold your own island and make whatever you want on it. And you can have the Cloud Islands where you play with other people. And you have like the Pallet Town area in the game, which is sort of like do whatever you want, right? Like do whatever you want. it's a similar concept here, but different, right? In the sense of there is one Pokemon, the seed Pokemon. You get this Pokemon and you mold it into what you want it to be like. I mean, not obviously, but basically how you play the game would change how it looks. So if you decide to battle gyms first, then maybe the Pokemon evolves to be more bulky or whatever else, right? Doesn't really matter. The main point is you have a seed Pokemon that changes changes based on how you play the game, and then you have also the islands themselves. One specific island that belongs to you, which kind of changes based on how you play. And I'm guessing they're saying here maybe that it registers on the server, and then you can go and check out maybe other people's islands. That concept to me sounds, I don't know, but it sounds intriguing. But again, it is just an old thing that they had. This is the actual image, by the way, from their actual like documents. So that's old stuff. Again, we don't know if anything valuable came out of that. But also, interesting from Jordan here, though. An interesting thing is Game Freak is certainly focused on taking advantage of the Switch 2's ability to do better light renders. I hope this means a focus on designing more glowing Pokemon too. And of course, we have one very, very glowing Pokemon. Okay, my boy Lantern. Look at him. Look at him. Okay, look at his little thing. See, he wants to glow. Okay, he wants to shine. Now, surely we're gonna be getting something, right? I mean, it's possible. There's two Pokemon I think will get forms. Him and Shellos. I think those two are ones that might get actual forms. But again, as a matter of time to see if anything happens. Also, I do love when Jordan actually finds these, because Jordan's been able to find a lot of references where they do love to add either art or colors that reference future games. For example, here's a compilation of teasers for Winds and Waves that he found in Scarlet and Violet. So, for example, here you can see Tropius, the shape of Tropius, and at the bottom here, I think somebody was trying to imply that that could be like the was it Gloom or Vileplume? I think it was Gloom in the trailer. I think it was Gloom, right? There's the two of them. Then here, I think it is is it the colors of these two, or am I missing something? Or is it the shape of the stuff here? I don't know that one. Here, of course, we know it's literally the underwater sections, the diving section from the trailer with Luminion. That's literally that. And here, Blossoming Infinity, a work by an unknown artist. It is, I mean, it looks kind of like a blooming flower, a coral reef flower looking thing, you know. And also, we do know Infinity is supposed to be an important aspect of these games, like the concept of Infinity. Then also here, we have two interesting Eevees. One of them is jumping up, trying to jump into the sky, and one is on the ground, right? A Pokemon evolution that is flying, and one that is either ground or rock type. Again, bringing us back to what we talked about earlier, you know, an Eevee that flies, an Eevee that's on the ground, you know, just saying. So that's another thing. Also, here we have this piece of art that I think also shows up in Pokopia, if I'm not mistaken. I could be completely wrong. Here we have a hint that could be for about the whole like weather phenomena stuff, because you can see like different like weather related things going on. Like you got the storm over here, you know, which changes how the Pokemon reacts, the winds, the rain, etc., the snow. Possibly also these are from Scarlet and Violet. Now found in Legends ZA, the saturated colors on the roof match the green and the blue on Nemona's door. There's also a yellow cushion that clearly stands out, but where exactly it fits into Gen 10, I'm not sure. It seems like the blue, green, yellow is Wind and Waves' color scheme, which is true. There might also be more in either of these spaces, but who knows at this point. Also, found in Pokopia, we already know, the same picture that is in Scarlet and Violet is here again, which is really intriguing. Also, again, the mention to a yellow Shellos, which is interesting. And here, this Rotom entered a mini stereo system and deeply moved by the synth pop CD someone left inside. The experience gave this Pokemon an upbeat personality. And of course, it's a stereo Rotom, which the idea is that this thing, given that it's electric normal, the theory is that this thing might actually get an electric sound typing change in the actual Gen 10. That's like one of the things I've seen. And of course, here, another hint for yellow Shellos. I mean, everything in the background is yellow, and then you have pink and blue Shellos, but no yellow one. Strange. And also here are the theory. So fun fact, those resort lights are likely Rattan orb lights. Rattan is from the Southeast Asia, and all the items for Team Initiation Part 6 look like they're references to the Winds and Waves hotel room. As you can see, a resort light, industrial bed, office desks. The theme of Part 6 is stylish furniture, which, again, could be these resort lights. Right, you can see them right there in actually, you know, like what they look like. But yeah, again, it's all theories. It's all speculation. I think it's fun. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, then drop a like down below. And I will see you all in the next one.